Welcome to Convicted Patriot Broadcast, your source for real information with no punches held and no apologies issued. See, it's all connected. Right and left. It's an illusion.
See, there's so much, this rabbit hole goes so deep that it's going to take you forever to catch up.
And this is, quite frankly,
a war for our very souls.
I want us all to pray for our country in the direction we are headed. God bless you all, and God bless America. God bless America. Welcome to Convicted Patriot Broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Christian Russ, and more than likely I'm going to offend you, but that is not my goal. My goal is to educate you and to keep you in tune. Today is the 14th of April, 2026, and quite a few things to talk about today. I'm not going to start off with this war. Let's try something different, because I know that's been the topic of probably everything that you've listened to or watched in the last month. Just a few things, and I guess you would say political pop culture. Eric Swalwell. No love lost here. Scumbag. Always been a scumbag. Honestly, California, your party kind of did you a favor. But one thing I will say is, well, first of all, let me just give you the rundown in case you have no idea what I'm talking about. Eric Swalwell, congressman from California, he resigned Monday after, and he dropped out of the California governor race after 5 women, as of today, have come out and said pretty much from around the time of 2018 all the way up to 2024, these cases bounce back and forth between those time periods, including a staffer that he drugged, raped, and sent a lot of dick pics on Snapchat to these women, touched them inappropriately, flirted inappropriately, and they actually had text messages going back to when this first happened 5, 6, 7 years ago, in some cases 8 years ago, and where they told their family and friends via text message, and they had that to back them up. So the Dems have, of course, once again, virtue signaled, you see what we do when one of our own is a rapist freak, we get him up out of there. Okay, I'll give that to you. You definitely did get that scumbag up out of there, but, I mean, hey, balls and strikes, right? So, credit where it's due. You got him out of there. But, what about all these illegals that are over here with prior or pending rape charges or, pedophilia charges, sexual assault charges, whatever the case may be, sexual offenses, let's just say inappropriate sexual misconduct, and your followers are trying to free them from ICE custody, or you're demanding that they are innocent until proven guilty and they need a fair chance. But Eric Swalwell didn't get that. Eric Swalwell was automatically shunned, banned, get the hell up out of here. Which, I mean, hey, he kind of strikes me as the guy that would do it. But hey, if we're going to be fair, let's be fair. But I'm going to tell you, Democrats, what your fuck up was. Eric Swalwell's white man. That's why the nails were put to him. Let's just be honest. If he was brown, if he had melanin in his skin, it would be innocent until proven guilty, and he deserves a fair shot. And we're going to stand by this guy until all these crazy allegations go one way or the other, and you're one of ours, and we got you, bro. And that's how it would have went down if Eric Swalwell wasn't a white man. And let's just be honest, that's what it is. This segues nicely into another, I guess, sex case. Not really, but Melania Trump, she did earlier this week, I guess late last week, Thursday, I believe, she held a surprise press conference, and the White House was even caught off guard. Trump even, he backed her right to speak, but he said he didn't really know what the details were. Well, what brought this out is a 2002, that's right, 24 years ago, an email from Melania to Ghislaine Maxwell, and it is resurfaced, and she basically just complimented Ghislaine on a New York Magazine photo shoot. There was a story in New York Magazine on Epstein, unfortunately, but that's what it was. And Ghislaine had a picture in it. She commented how she looked in the picture, said she was beautiful in the picture or whatever, and asked about, I think, Palm Beach, Florida, how it was at that time, and just pretty much signed off after that. Love Melania. Now, pleasantries between wealthy women, because I think Ghislaine responded to her calling her sweet pea or something, and that's all it was. So naturally, Melania called a press conference and she basically restated, heavily that she never went to the island. She didn't really know him like that. She didn't know about any crimes. She's never been a victim of these crimes. She had no knowledge of these crimes. She didn't know Epstein. She did not get introduced to Trump from all these bullshit rumors that have absolutely nothing backing them. And she even called on Congress, which kudos to her, to give all these women that are victims a public hearing and put them under oath and let them testify and let them get their story out. One thing I can say is, and this is not just to the Trump administration or the government in general, this is to America, this is to the world, anybody that cares about this story. Melania Trump, whatever her flaws are, has nothing tying her to Epstein in any indecent way or anything going against her to make her word look like it is worthless or isn't holding any merit. So instead of trying to dig and find an angle on a Trump, and I know that's hard for everyone with TDS to do, and there's two forms of TDS, but we'll get into that. So everyone with the liberal form of TDS to do, why don't we focus on, like Harry Fish, the oncologist who was telling Epstein he should take his ED meds and then they should go get a slice of pizza and a grape soda as soon as he takes them because he called him into the pharmacy for him. Or, any of these people, Les Wexner, any of these people that we know for a fact had dealings with this man or said some weird shit on emails to this man. We know for a fact they were involved. So why are we trying to dig on Melania when there's nothing to dig on when we know for a fact? How about the FBI pulls up on these people like that doctor, said doctor, and say, hey, man, we got these emails. You told this man to take some dick pills. And then that you two, one being a doctor, the other one being Jeffrey Epstein, through his emails we know was super conscious of his health, was trying to basically live forever to figure out how to upload his consciousness and all that shit that he was doing. So I don't think anybody with this mindset and a doctor who knows health risk of eating such sloppy food such as pizza and drinking grape soda, I don't think that they would do that together. That sounds like a very random journey to go on, So why don't they just ask him, what did you mean by this? Take your erectile dysfunction pills and then let's go have a piece of pizza and a grape soda. What about the email that said your youngest piece of pizza was naughty? What any of these people, because it might be redacted to us, but it's not redacted to the law enforcement that is seeing it. Why don't you do your job? Instead of worrying about Melania Trump, why don't you go pull up on these people we know for a fact we're having pizza? Anyway, Trump, man. First of all, this True Social that he posted. See if I can pull it up real quick. Hold on one second. All right. So I'm going to read this. I'll put it up on the screen and we're going to read this. Okay, this is a True Social that Trump has recently put out. And this is let's see here. Okay. So it says, I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon, because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it. And everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. Okay, I'm just going to stop right there. Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones are low IQ, Trump? Hey, listen, man. Regardless of what you feel or think about any of these people, the last thing I would say that they are is low IQ. Whether you agree with them or not, they are not low IQ people. Comparatively speaking to Donald Trump, I think pretty much any of them would eviscerate him in a debate of any topic, honestly. They are probably primarily some of the biggest reasons that you won in that landslide because they all supported you wholeheartedly. Tucker Carlson has responded to this and still hasn't really shot back. He did call him a slave. He said he'd feel bad for him like he does all slaves, but he said he would answer his call and he's still going to pray for him. The saddest thing I think I seen was on InfoWars right before Trump dropped this, about 2 hours before. Alex Jones had a preacher on. They were talking about Trump, and Alex Jones said instead of attacking this man for these clumsy decisions he's been making, let's pray for him. Let's pray that God touches him and brings him back on the right course because I believe he has it in his heart to do the right thing. Even Alex Jones said, let's pray for Trump and not turn against him in this time. And we don't agree with him, but let's pray for him. And then he shot at him like this. And Megyn Kelly is so far from low IQ and supported Trump. Candace Owens, so far from low IQ and supported Trump. Tucker Carlson has probably read every book twice on pretty much every political subject or anything around politics. He's been in the game for a very long time. Definitely not low IQ. And Alex Jones has been doing this for 30 years. And I know the Sandy Hook thing was a terrible look on Alex Jones. But me, for one, I believe that he was intentionally by the intelligence agencies given fake information about Sandy Hook. And like a dumbass, he repeated it on his show, which got him in the situation he's in. But I'm not even going to read the rest of that truth because it's just so ridiculous. I don't know what Trump has got going on. I know J.D. Vance, Witkoff, Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, they had a Pakistan talk in Pakistan with the leaders from Iran. It was 21 hours long, and of course they came to no agreement. Why? Well, originally, the United States didn't want them enriching at a higher rate than what was needed, which is somewhere between 3 and 5% for energy purposes. And they were already doing that and staying at a low percentage of 3% when they were part of the nuclear agreement. And then Trump tore that shit up. And then, obviously they weren't bound to the United States anymore. Didn't really have to worry about what anybody, that's the guy you want to please is the United States. And so they did start enriching more. They stopped at 60%. They never went higher. You cannot build a bomb with 60%. You need 90% or better. And that's my rough knowledge of it. I'm not claiming to be a physicist or know anything about it. I'm just telling you what I've read. But yes, they never enriched past 60%. They've had the capability to enrich. Obviously, if they can enrich at all, they can enrich the whole way. It's the same technology, it's the same process, and they chose not to. But anyway, Israel, one of their conditions was no enrichment whatsoever, not even. Now, being that this country was part of a agreement, they had the right to enrich for energy purposes for their people. It's the 21st century. Well, Israel said, no, you cannot do that. And that is a non-starter, ladies and gentlemen. That is what is called a non-starter in a negotiation. You don't want my people to be able to produce electricity through nuclear power plants. As efficient as it is and at low cost, you don't want me to be able to do that. So my people will suffer. So no, it's a non-starter. We're not even going to go there. So I guess since they didn't come to an agreement, that made Trump angry, and I guess the phrase would be cut off my nose to spite your face, because the strait obviously stayed closed, and now the United States has put their own Navy blockade there. I have never heard of a blockade to counteract a blockade. I'm not sure what the logic is there. They are turning around ships that do any business with Iran. They're not letting them through, whatever. But let's just say a Chinese ship says they're going in there to do business with somebody else. They're not going to do business with Iran, and they let them through, and then on the way back out, they find out, well, yeah, they did do business with Iran. What are you going to do? You're going to stop this Chinese ship? Are you really going to directly escalate this with countries that aren't involved right now because you're being petty? So this could be a direct escalation with Russia, China, any other country that is going through the strait that has been getting their energy, oil, whatever the case may be, from Iran. So now we're going to cause pain to countries that are not directly involved with this. They're just trying to get by their day-to-day, do what's right for their country, their people. We're going to cause them pain and then turn around and expect them to support this. You realize that Iran still has ballistic missiles, still has drones, still has everything. So by adding more stagnant United States ships to this area, we're giving them more targets, more reasons to shoot at us and blow us up and escalate this on their end. And if we did get into it, well, let's say hypothetically China over this, you realize that almost all, if not all, of our rare earth minerals come from China. The globalists have allowed China to corner the market on rare earth minerals. They've been doing it for a very long time now, and it's gotten to that point where China runs the market on that shit. And we need it to build specific munitions like Patriot missiles and things like that. You know, our defensive air missiles and all that, the laser technology, it needs rare earth minerals to be able to work. And they take a long time to build also. But China has the ability to crush that avenue for us. And they also have major economic leverage over us because, wait, everything in your house is probably made in China. Unfortunately, the slave labor makes profits increasingly high for people that do business outside of China, in China, and they export from China into the States. Profit margins are higher. So naturally, a shit ton of things come from China. Not to mention they steal IP, intellectual property, of anybody that does business over there, and then they remake it, the same thing that you had the idea to make that you made over there. Well, that's part of doing business in China. They can now rip your patent off, make it with cheaper materials, and sell it for a third of the price right back to America. So you have your nice product on the shelf that you created with your patent and your brain for $50, and they make a cheap rip-off, knockoff version with cheaper materials and sell it to the same country you live in for $15. Which product is going to fly off the shelf faster? So they have the economic leverage is my point. Oh, and let's not forget that this is going to, skyrocket global oil prices. So that's where we are today. Not really sure what to even say about this anymore. I'm not really trying to get on a kick here with the whole Israel thing right now. You know how I feel about it. One thing I can say, though, is I have got more hate from MAGA now. Now that I'm just calling Trump out for some shit I don't agree with, I've got more hate now from MAGA than I ever did a crazy fucking liberal. They're easy to deal with. They don't know what a woman is. They think that men can be women with a little bit of estrogen and a boob job. And somebody just recently, a friend of mine that I've known for 20 years, commented and said, "Hey man, now that you're coming down from this whole, Trump thing that you were on, I hope you realize that whole don't know what a woman is a straw man argument for 90% of us Democrats, liberals, whatever. No, brother, it's not. Because one thing I can say about liberals is they do stick together. They do stand together. They're not going to go against each other, even if they know something is wrong, which is why I can't be a part of any party, because I refuse to stand behind something just because the majority does, if I think it's wrong. But liberals do this. Therefore, to avoid offending their ABCDEFGLBDGQ plus minus division sign friend, they repeat the same bullshit and get in line with the nonsense. They just fall in line like good stormtroopers. Anyway, sorry it's not much tonight. Just wanted to get this out there. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will see you later on in this week, and hopefully we have some better news, but God bless you all, and God bless America.